April 15, 2005, regular council meeting, Borough Munhall called to order. Ma'am, would you pledge allegiance for us? Have to your name.
Susan Phelps.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Mr. Shields.
Here.
Mr. Firestone.
Here.
Mr. Ferdinand.
Here.
Mr. Brennan.
Here.
Ms. Fry.
here.
Mr. Junkins.
Here.
Mr. Eads.
Present.
Mayor Pulse.
Here.
Chief Fuller.
Here.
Chief Coles.
Here.
Mr. Vassar.
Here.
Mr. Elias.
Here.
Mr. Bicey.
Here.
Mr. Turner.
Here.
We have a quorum. We had executive session. We're trying to get things started early. The executive session, we started at 6 instead of 6:30, and we just made it out the door. Legal issues and personnel issues. It got pretty hectic, to be honest with you. And we didn't even finish up what we wanted to do. Michael Ward's in the back. Michael, how are you? Haven't seen you for a while. Anyway, we've done pretty well. And public presentation. Mr. Walter Spaskowski didn't come in because they make it last month, not here today? Oh, you're here.
I'm right here.
We were looking for you last week.
Oh,
Okay.
Hi, I'm Walt Spaskowski. I'm the director and president of the Munhall Community Band. Though many of you may have seen and heard us perform over the last 5 years, I'm here to officially introduce the band and myself to the Munhall Borough. MCB is a nonprofit 501c3. We're a 70-member and growing, to 2 people joined last night, community volunteer concert band dedicated to providing a lifelong musical entertainment and education through concert band music. We play a wide variety of music genres ranging from classical and Broadway and concert band to rock and roll, pop, and jazz. You're going to love our show. We have so many different kinds of music out there. We serve Munhall, Homestead, the Steel Valley, surrounding Pittsburgh communities, and hopefully well beyond even more. We perform indoor and outdoor concerts, such as the 2024 holiday concert right down here in the Carnegie Library Music Hall. You'll see us at the Main Street Market Nights in Munhall, the Munhall Light Up Night, the Great American Banana Split Festival in Latrobe, get out there, and several parades. In fact, we recently won the best, now watch it, best senior band, non-school related at the 2025 Pittsburgh St. Patrick's Day Parade. We rehearse Monday evening, 6 to 8:30, right down at Ann Ashley, right here in Munhall. We look forward to continuing our engagement and collaboration with the community, the schools, the businesses, and the people here in Munhall and Steel Valley. We want to bring music to all of you. Lastly, we would love for all of you to come join us. It doesn't matter if you haven't played your instrument in 2 days or 20 years or 30 years. You are welcome and encouraged to come and play. Now, even if you don't play an instrument and you want to learn to play, I'll work with you on that one. I love adult musicians who want to make music. And also, there are many opportunities to participate in MCB, even if you don't play an instrument. There's lots of things that we have going on, and we can use the skills of many people to bring music to the community. So lastly, I want to thank you for letting me come here to officially introduce the Munhall Band. Obviously, to you guys, you are our borough, and we are your musical group. So if you need something music related, just come talk to us. We look forward to entertaining and representing Munhall. If I have a couple cards here. if somebody wants a couple cards that we can take. And our website is pretty easy, www.munhallband.org.
Wow. Impressive.
I just want to say they are an asset to the community. You know, they were down at the St. Patrick's Day and they used
Wow.
the Munhall Community Band name. So it comes back.
Right.
We get recognition here in Munhall when these guys are out there playing at festivals even elsewhere. And we've used them here and they're great. They're fabulous. I think most of us have seen them.
You have a headquarters where you practice?
Yeah, right there in Ann Ashley.
Okay.
Right down there in Ann Ashley Church, right there,
Yeah.
yep, right there in Munhall. And, yeah, we rehearse there, and we have a jazz band too that is kind of a splinter group with us, and we're always looking for any places to perform, outside festivals, indoor festivals, shows. So thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Walter, I have a question.
Sure.
What night do you practice?
Monday nights, 6 to 8:30
Monday, 6 to 8:30.
in Ashley.
And do you have a harmonica player? Because I'm really thinking about learning to play the harmonica.
Hey, you want to come play the harmonica, we will fit you in,
Hold them
believe
to
me.
We can do this.
Hold them to it.
And they can come and listen.
You can come and listen,
Pink
yes.
Floyd.
We could start a blues band, that's
They
this
do the
one.
Pink Floyd.
We got this.
Yeah, we do Pink Floyd, we do Rolling Stones, we do,
Oh, you got me on the Rolling Stones.
yeah.
Running the Big Stones fan.
Yeah, so we do everything, and if you have requests, just let me know and we'll see. But we also plan to, collaborate with the schools, Steel Valley, want to work in with, collaborating with Steel Valley School District and other school districts as well, help build up their music programs, and
Your practice session, is that open to the public?
it is, yes, yep, you just come on in, we have people, just had people there, I think, a couple months ago that were 3 or 4 people that came and sat through the rehearsals. So yeah, rehearsals are open to the public. Just come on in, you can hear what we're getting ready for. We have our spring show coming up, spring summer show looking like in June. So we'll send the information over to you guys so you know when. And of course we have other shows throughout the summer and fall coming up. So, all right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Walter.
Thanks.
Approve the meeting minutes for March 2025. March 18th, 2025 council meeting minutes.
Motion. Second.
Second, all approved, all in favor?
Aye.
I abstain because I wasn't here.
Okay. I wasn't here either, I was in hospital.
Did you read the book? I'm abstaining.
March 11th, 2025 workshop meeting minutes.
Motion. Second.
I'll abstain also. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
I abstain.
President's report. We talked about it last, at the workshop, the possibility of a pickleball court. Everybody loves pickleball. There's a spot over here where the basketball court is, which is not used very often. We're gonna talk to, talk to Joe Dukar from the Campbell Foundation, let them know our plans, but we own the field. So, but we're gonna let them know out of respect for what they've done. We're thinking about putting a couple of pickleball courts back here, but I think it'd be a big hit. So, that is my report. Mayor's report.
Well, today, we had up at the fire hall on Main Street, we had the Lieutenant Governor there, Austin Davis. We had Sarah Inarato, the county executive, our state senator, Piscitano, and our new state legislator, Guggenauer, and we got $462,000 grant. So that puts us over $1 million now for what we have for Main Street. And I mean, you're not gonna see changes immediately overnight. There's, we gotta have the engineer look into this and stuff. You're gonna see some good things coming to our Main Street with new sidewalks, better lighting, and so forth. So that's some exciting things for us. We were able to get a nice grant from them, and it's not, we don't have to pay a dime. It's Main Street Matters. We had our Easter egg hunt this past Saturday. It was a success. It was a cold day, but we had an Easter egg hunt and was attended probably by about 70 children. And it was a good occasion. It was put on by the Munhall Cares Group. And Munhall Cares is going to be having a blood drive. I'll try to, maybe we can put this on our website too, David, on the, I have, on our website for people to donate blood. It's a time when everybody needs that. Less people are donating, and we need more people to help out with donations of blood. And our Main Street Market Nights are starting up. We have already booked the Munhall Community Band. They will be opening up for us in June. And we have a lot of other good entertainment there for you this year. And the Main Street Market Nights have been a great success in bringing people together. Now, one thing we are going to do new this year is I've already, in coordination with the library, we're going to do a food and music rally. And it's going to be down in North Munhall by the library this year. So we're going to do that in coordination with the library and Munhall Cares. And a lot of people said, hey, you don't bring nothing out of North Munhall. So that's going to be happening in the fall in September. So that's really all I have for my report.
Is that going to be on the 10th Avenue side down the bottom of the steps?
10th Avenue side.
We used to have the arts
And the
festival.
gazebo's down there, so hopefully.
We used to have arts festival down there, and it was great. And they had booths and entertainment, and it should be really
So I'll
nice.
be meeting with them on this food and music festival.
Mayor, I'd like to comment on the Main Street monies that you just mentioned,
Yes.
the $1 million, because a lot of people have questioned how is this money going to be appropriated. And speaking with our grant writer and the borough manager today at the affair, and council was all at the affair as well. The borough manager will make sure that monies are all appropriated, and it's a reimbursement. So Munhall will pay the fees or the bills that are presented, and then we'll be reimbursed. So everything, there's been a big question about who's going to be appropriating all the money. Munhall Borough applied for all these grants, and the borough manager is going to oversee all that. Correct, Dave?
Yep, absolutely.
Very good.
It'll be more or less like project manager? Okay, good.
Thank you.
Solicitor's report.
Thank you, Mr. President. I covered most of my items in executive session. Just as a follow-up, we've had discussions at several meetings about this tax forgiveness program. Homestead Borough currently has it in place. We've had members of the public spoke about it. Maybe a couple months ago, there was a concern that the school district wasn't willing to participate, which is critical to the success of the program. I've now been told that the school is. I received the forms and materials that Homestead is using. We want to have a similar program because the school has approved Homestead's program. We need to go on board for ours. And again, this is a program to allow people to apply for tax forgiveness on delinquent, abandoned properties. No one's paying taxes on, and the properties are continuing to decline in the hopes that they would be renovated and put back into use and back on the tax rolls. In exchange, then the borough and the school would agree to forgive back taxes to encourage development of blighted properties. So I think everyone on council agreed that's a good program. I've been working on the mechanics, and so the next step would be, there's a lot to do to get this started. And I think you're going to need a committee. It's going to obviously have to involve borough administration. I will be involved at the outset to make sure all the legal requirements are met. But you're going to need people that have the time, willing to put in the time to review these applications, evaluate them, evaluate the background of the applicant, make sure everything's legitimate before any approval is granted, and coordinate with the school simultaneously. So, Mr. President, I would leave that up to you to give me direction, and we can set up a meeting here at the Borough Building to get started with the groundwork for this. So I'm not expecting an answer now, but that'll be the next step. That concludes my report.
Code enforcement. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, engineer's report, sorry.
I have nothing new to report for this month.
Now, like,
If anybody has any questions.
any question for the engineer? I have one. I kind of talked to you about it a little bit, about redesigning the intersection of Bradley Lane and Roberta Drive. And I thought about it. I don't think we can do that ourselves.
Okay.
We're gonna need some kind of direction and have it done where it's such a disaster up there for years. Cars coming in and out, making left, making right. Can we get, do do your firm do that yourselves, or you have to outsource that?
No, we can do that.
We've been talking about it for years, maybe we can look into that. Everybody agree with that?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Also, the lower parking lot, how much it would be to pay that, get numbers on that, have them get numbers on it?
Yeah, we can do that in a, this is kind of a voting meeting, but yeah, you can do that.
You can just direct them, it doesn't require any official
He's
action.
not here, so
Go ahead, yes.
ask him.
Go ahead, that's what you want.
Matt, can you get some numbers for the lower lot, what it would cost us to pave that lot and have roughly, see how many parking spots we can get down there also? And like,
You can talk to the manager to get more specific
Yeah,
on it.
and Matt, call me too.
Yeah.
David and I were at a meeting, I'll tell you the specifics, what we're
Right.
looking for, okay?
Okay.
Thank you.
Right. Boomer.
Do you have a copy of my report? 801 Ravine Street was taken to the magistrate. The charges against the owner was dismissed. The judge felt it was more of a police issue for parking than a property maintenance issue. And the police are routinely down there with the parking.
Okay, is that it?
That's it.
Public Works.
I got a question for
Go ahead.
Dave, do you plan on going to the 2021 property maintenance code in July when the state switches to it?
Yes. Well, if there's any close by classes for it, yes.
No, do we need, for the borough, are we gonna follow the 2021 International Property Maintenance Code?
Yes, we will be
All right, we
more
got
than
to work on
updating
a
it.
resolution for that also. And did you see the March 14th Buses Gazette article about the corporations buying properties in Munhall?
Yes.
I know made it to the Munhall community page. Are you requiring there to be a manager within 15 miles of Munhall Borough for these corporations and their rentals?
Yes.
Do we have a list of that?
We used to have a list. We used to have a list. Yeah, right now our system doesn't. Our system actually crashed, so we're testing a system that right now it should be rental properties will be up and running. They said June or July, and by beginning next year they should be up and running. It's a test system right
So
now.
we don't have a list right now?
Not a current list, no.
A current list. So are we gonna be able to get a current list without that system? Because if we have these corporations coming in, buying these properties, and they're out of state and they're everywhere else, it's not doing us any good if we don't know who's managing the properties locally. And we require it in our.
Yeah, most of the outside companies do fill out a form, so we do have, some information. I give them a call and I ask them for who their property manager is. Most of them are running property managers now that are local in the area. So most of them will have property managers within the area.
I just wanna make sure we have this information. It's required by our code, and all these other communities are having issues with these people. We need to make sure we're protecting ourselves with this also.
I'll start a list, the current list.
A good database, who's living in the property and everything also.
Well,
We're required by that.
we have an ordinance 1506, and to be honest with you, a lot of landlords are hesitant to give you information on who lives in their house. They'll tell me how many people are living, how many adults, how many children. They really don't want to give personal information out. They didn't feel it was right. So we mostly have the number of people who are living in houses. Yeah.
I'm not trying to go back and forth with you. I deal with it every single day. And I can tell you every person in the borough of Homestead, who's their renter, who lives there, their age, everything is all in the database. And we have to make sure our ordinance requires it, let's make sure that we're doing it.
Well, we had landlords wouldn't give us that information.
Don't we have a rental registry?
We have a license, we don't enforce. I'm just gonna bring that up. We have an ordinance for it, how long has it been, Bill?
Well, 2007, I want to say.
It isn't so much, it's not so much for money, it's how we can find out who lives in these rental properties.
Yeah.
We haven't been doing that.
No. And
That
originally.
would help us too, Tim.
100%. We have to know
We have
who's
to
living
enforce
in
it,
here.
yes.
Well, I mean, like I said, a lot of landlords wouldn't give that information. Didn't want to give that information. It was like should we fight that or not? I mean, Bernie, you buy a house, I don't know how many people are living in your house. You know,
Right,
1506 been argued over the years
right,
with the 3 strikes you're out policy, this and that. That's all been fought,
right.
you know? And like a lot of people didn't feel, like, I don't want to say anyone's name, but local owners of properties didn't want to give information out. They didn't feel like it was important. They would give you how many adults were there, or how many children were there,
Right.
you know?
I'm gonna jump to the police chief real quick. This would help you also.
Yes.
How do you do it now? Or who lives here and we don't know?
No, we don't know that, just other than our reports.
So, like you had an incident the other day, you had to find out who lives there, who owns it. You have really no idea how to do it, unless they tell you. who owns it.
Dealing with them, that's.
Right, that's it. So that would help us so much, all the way around.
Yes.
Your way, okay. Anything else? Public Works.
All I have is gonna start hot patching probably next week. That's normally when the plant opens up. And once we start, we'll be going for about 6 weeks trying to get caught up.
Okay.
That's all I have.
Mr. Young, because you may want to help out here about the speed bumps on Ravine Street, where we're at with that. You're aware of that? The county's going to start on their end?
Yeah.
Anybody know what's going on with it?
I'm waiting to hear from the county. Our manager was handling that, and we haven't heard from the county yet, but the asphalt plants haven't opened yet either.
Okay. Anything else? You done?
Yep.
Okay, jumping back to the chief. Anything? Your report?
Thank you, Mr. President. Council has a copy of my report. Police responded to 662 calls for service, made 38 arrests, conducted 78 traffic stops, and issued 85 traffic citations. For extra duty, officers worked 56 hours of extra duty detail, 86 hours of court time, and 174 hours of regular overtime. That's all I have. If you have any questions.
Any questions of the chief? Fire chief.
Thank you, Mr. President. For the month of March, we had a total of 50 calls, 27 in-town, 23 mutual aid requests. Our average time from dispatch to en route was 3 minutes and 33 seconds, and dispatch to on scene was 5 minutes and 14 seconds. As the hits keep on coming, we have another truck out of service. It is now the tower. It went in for hydraulic extension pistons, and now the main center piston and spindle valve is leaking hydraulic fluid, and that will be out probably 6 months.
Whoa.
Unfortunately, it's not like you can take your car to
Right.
the gas station across the street and have it worked
And
on.
of course, we have no idea the cost yet.
Roughly 35 grand,
Oh.
give or take.
Okay.
I have a question.
Yes, Reen?
Price is doing business.
Under the false alarms, 3 times in one day.
First Commonwealth, they had
What was that about?
a malfunction in their panel. And we finally got the system on test, is what we call on test, until the maintenance people could get there. And then the 4th one that's on there,
Right,
they were back there doing something else and tripped the alarm by accident. But they had a bad sensor go in somewhere in the system.
So does that affect their computer if it goes down?
No.
No, okay.
Now,
I didn't know.
you have you've done this is trying to finish?
Yes.
Okay, so if you have a call, you have like you have the bank,
Yes,
so you send, whatever you gotta send the alarm.
correct.
Now, for the second alarm, you think, chances are, this is a malfunction, you might not send everybody again? Or you
Well-
send-
In the county CAD system, for a commercial building, whether it's a fire alarm, it has a designated response. You're gonna get all 4.
No matter what you do?
Correct.
I got you.
Bernie, I got a question for him.
Sure.
When we tried fixing the roof on number 2, last year, I think it was, and we didn't get it off. If you want on a Friday, I'll come back up and we can get back up there. if we can get them rocks moving and find the holes, we can get that patched to where you guys ain't getting leaks no more. But I still have the stuff that the borough bought that we were using to patch it. We slowed it down, but we didn't,
Right.
we didn't stop it, so let's try to do that real soon.
Okay.
All right?
Yep.
Manager report.
A couple things. We didn't get a chance to talk about this last week, but the Governor's Center for Local Government Services allows the borough, outside the stamp program, which we approved a couple months ago, to get basically studies, specifically a fire study, that we can apply for. I voted today on a letter of intent to this program to basically get a fire study for the borough of Munhall. In your packets, there's a brief little description of the program, plus the peer assistance program regarding that, and the letter of intent is listed included as well. So it's pretty much just joining that program. Additionally, we're also going to be submitting an RFP, a request for proposals, for the STAMP program. This is the Strategic Planning, Financial Management, Long-Term Financial Management Program through DCED that we can apply for. They will have a, we'll basically get proposals for the most affordable thing for us, which we pay only a small amount of, most of it paid by DCED. And then they would prepare a report interviewing most of the staff of the borough, seeing where we can make improvements in the overall functionality of the borough, as well as making recommendations for things like police study, fire study, 5-year plan, things like that. So we'll have to send out an actual request for proposals, which the council will need to vote on tonight for that. Additionally, we ordered a tablet for Public Works to start doing GIS mapping of our stormwater and other parts of the borough, so we can effectively respond to any stormwater management plan that we need to come up with. I'll have the KLH engineers train our couple of public works guys on how to actually use the tablet for GIS, and hopefully the next couple of weeks we'll start that. Okay? And that's all I have for right now, but if there's any questions about anything in particular, there's lots of stuff going on. Okay?
Question on the stormwater
Yeah.
and the tracking and the guys going around. So, I mean, if that's a requirement that we're trying to fulfill and you're trying to gather more information on the process.
Right.
So, I think it's a good idea, it's a great idea that you have Public Works doing that. Do they track that now while they're working, while they're out?
There might be some very casual, but nothing like in an actual computer program, which this would be. Basically a tablet with a GIS and say, hey, here's a drain, here's a catchment basin, we'll mark that, make sure that's there, we know where that goes. Put the pipes in, because Bob especially knows where a lot of the pipes are going anyways. So it'll slowly add to what we already have. We have some information, but we're kind of filling it out as requirements for MS4.
So I wasn't thinking more on the tracking of the piping. I was thinking more on the conditions of the catch basins. If it's raining and it's been raining for 2 days, I would think while Public Works is out there, they would be tracking this and reporting back to Bob and saying to you.
That's definitely stuff we can start doing that as well.
So that would be part of your condition of keeping your system in check and maintaining it. That's all should be a part of that. So I would encourage that Bob set that up with our guys. All the men should be doing that. We're checking, when even the garbage trucks are driving around, they see all that stuff. They're doing both jobs, garbage and roads and maintenance.
Yeah, there's a lot of potential for this kind of a software anyway, so if they start collecting stuff and making notes, and then we can put that into the tablet at the end of the day, and then we can kind of get that stuff.
You can make notes on the conditions, the repairs you've done, all that stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
So I would encourage that.
As part of the MS4 in the future, tracking repairs that have been done and things that you're doing to better the system is all part of the requirements.
Good.
Bernie, can I ask a question?
Absolutely.
I'm looking through the papers. Dave, Dave Cannon, so naturally we got 3 days up here. The Borough Munhall ordinance regarding the zoning, would you just tell me, do we presently have an ordinance? Is this going to be something new? Is it changing the original? What is it?
Greg, you wanna?
Yeah, you
Greg
made
wrote
the
it.
ordinance on the agenda for tonight? Yeah, this has been in discussion for probably a year now. And this was a suggestion, a way to repurpose and reuse certain buildings like schools and churches that are abandoned and just falling into disrepair. In the ordinance, it changes our zoning ordinance, so it adds a new subparagraph to allow for a use specifically that wasn't provided for. Redevelopment of existing structures identified as essential services, churches, schools, or recreational facilities, which this is in a residential district, which are converted to multifamily dwelling units, provided they have minimum parking defined as one off-street parking space for each dwelling unit. So, churches, schools, and these other types of buildings were permitted to exist in a residential zone, which typically is reserved just for residential use. This council, by approving this ordinance, is going to allow those abandoned buildings to be converted to multi-family dwelling with off-street parking.
Terry?
And I'd like to further add, we did discuss this, and you may not have been at the meeting, Rini,
No.
but we are not approving commercial use in these, is that right?
That's correct.
Correct, so we're not permitting commercial businesses to be put in these residential districts. We're approving them to be used for residential use,
Only.
correct?
Correct.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We had concerns about anything was going in St. Rita's, right?
Right.
That was our main problem, right.
That's why I wanted to ask. I wasn't here that meeting.
Right.
And I just wanted a clarification. Okay?
Dewsbury?
I got
Yes.
one more thing I forgot about.
Sure.
About the report from the tax collector. She just started collecting taxes last week, but she's collected $319,020 so far in the last basically 8 days.
Right. That's always a good thing. Public comments on non-agenda items, please limit your address to 3 minutes.
Hey, how you doing?
Hi.
I'm
Name?
Phil Dubinsky, I'm representing Main Street Tavern. Right. Building is on the corner of Bossford and Main, right?
Sure.
There's a couple safety issues that we've seen over the last couple of years. The first one is there's a bus stop on the corner of Bossford. It goes across Main Street, but there's no crosswalk.
Okay.
The nearest crosswalks for people getting off the bus are a block down to the light or the block down to the pizza shop that's further down, right? So I've seen a lot of people get nervous trying to cross the street when they get off the
Right.
bus. And Tim, you've seen this, right? So there's actually a fire hydrant on the opposite side of the street, and all we would require is like a curb cut over there, because there's already one on the side where the bus stop is, but not one on the opposite side. So I think as part of the revitalization project, that'd be pretty cheap to get a crosswalk maybe in there and a curb cut on the other side to make it safer for people getting off the bus.
Wow.
Yeah. And I guess the next thing is, on that same corner, it's all day, all night long, and Mayor Rob, you've seen this, right?
Yeah.
All day, all night long, people come in and they just pull U-turns, pull U-turns,
Yeah.
all day, all night.
Mhm.
And there's a, right, exactly, you saw it too. There's a continuous flow of pedestrians as part of the walkability of this new project, right? Continuous flow of pedestrians that are, I think, constantly put into danger of all these people pulling these U-turns. So I think with the engineer, Matt, maybe you could look at that corner to see if there's a way to maybe extend the sidewalk out on the tavern side to reduce the number of people that come in from both directions to pull those U-turns all day, all night long, you know? And I think also that would kind of improve our storefront ability to have some tables outside for, you know, the warmer months for people to sit and have lunch. You know, I've seen, you know, other businesses on the street that have enough space to do that. Right now, we don't. You know, we have to allow enough space for wheelchairs to go by and things like that. But if we look at that intersection, I think there's a way you could kind of curve out, I'll say my building side out a little bit to reduce the U-turns, but that would extend it for us to maybe put some tables out there and, you know, maybe build a deck to kind of flatten it out, because that is on a hill, you know what I mean? But if we could increase the space on the sidewalk to make it safer for the pedestrians and reduce the number of U-turns, I think that would certainly help the community and walkability, especially on that side of the street, right? There's less businesses on that side of the street, and the people that do walk by, it'd be nice to,
Now, this might be a policeman, as far as I know, U-turns are legal unless it's posted.
Correct.
So we could put a no U-turn up there, right?
Yes.
So that would limit, possibly, if they
but,
see it,
yeah.
they would think
Still
twice
gotta do
about
it, I would imagine.
Right.
Yeah.
We
I
can
think
about that.
if somebody sees a parking spot on that side, your side of the street.
Yeah.
So they're gonna do that U-turn and try to
Right.
get into that parking spot. So
Right.
that's
one thing though,
That's
but I
still-
mean, you guys.
I was going up Main Street on Saturday afternoon.
Uh-huh.
Car, right past your place.
Yeah.
Car came across, head on towards me, and parked the opposite way on Main Street.
Uh-huh.
Wow.
Parallel parked.
Oh
I
my
never-
God.
I looked over at him, gave him a really bad look, but came down the opposite side and parallel parked on the wrong side of Main Street.
All the time. You see it all the time.
That's just crazy.
Sure,
Yeah,
sure.
sure. But
So,
I think we can,
just some ideas as part of the project, you know, a crosswalk to make it
if you
safer.
think a no U-turn, so give us a
I mean,
start.
that may help, yeah.
May help,
yeah.
it can't hurt.
Yeah, I mean, that's the cheapest solution. If you reduce by 30%, great.
Right.
There's still that other 70% that,
Sure.
may interfere with pedestrians'
Right.
safety crossing the street.
Right.
So I guess that's about it. Maybe Matt, you and I can talk at another time if we can swap numbers, just to check out that intersection, get your ideas, and see what we can do.
No problem, yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, appreciate it, thanks.
And it's really a problem with going the wrong way on Main Street in front of the old Shermans there. They're continuously coming across there. I've noticed that more than once. All right,
Ernie, can I say something? 'Cause it's
Absolutely.
not on the agenda also.
we're on non-agenda items now.
Okay, well, you could.
Okay, well, it's coming up, it's coming up. We're talking, any more comments on non-agenda items?
Yeah, I was just gonna, Briley Lane's a state road in reference to your intersection.
You're a frequent flyer, so I'm not gonna make you come up front.
Okay,
I asked you to sit here.
just keep that in mind,
Sure.
Briley Lane's a
It's
state
Jim
road.
Barker from Old Browley Lane, everybody wants to know.
They gotta put those islands in up there, that's all.
That's all.
I got,
Post Main Street.
Mr. President, I got one thing on non-agenda items.
Yeah.
Can we send a letter of support to PRT for funding? Since you saw their cuts, we would lose 53L service in Munhall and the 52L, which serves Whitaker Way in that part of Munhall, if their service cuts do go through.
Sure.
So I think we should send a letter of support, for them getting funding as a council.
I believe the county council just sent a letter of support recently too, I read.
Okay.
So,
What are they proposing to cut?
53L and the 52L will be completely eliminated, so that'd be our bus service.
I think you're talking about the 30% cut overall,
In the
right?
gardens, right.
We would have no bus service on Main Street?
No bus service on Main Street and or Whitaker Way.
Wow.
There was public hearings, I know, down at downtown, and they were surprised about how many people did not show up at these hearings. But, people in the middle of the day go downtown, but that doesn't mean, maybe we should definitely write a letter. We have to get council to approve writing a letter? We can just do it ourselves? And opposed to that? Okay, great idea.
That's it. I'm done.
Any more public comments on non-agenda items? Public comments on agenda items? Reedy?
I just want to say, I had a few calls in the last 2 days that our agenda is not posted. And I know Dave said that he was trying to get it posted. I'm just saying, we need to do something and not the day off, because they might not be able to make this meeting, and they might not be able to see that video, but they would like to know what's going to be discussed. And the other thing is, when we received the last week's agenda, and I had it all marked, what we were going to discuss this week, and then we get this week's agenda. There's an awful lot of things on this week's agenda that I'm just saying, wow. I mean, I know, the fire, the police, this is fine, but I'm just saying, to get these things all in one unit, and then you're supposed to come in and look like you know what we're looking at. Fortunately, I got mine this morning, but I only got 4 pieces of four things. Tonight, how many is here? I just think we need to be more consistent, if we can do that, so that the residents know what's going on as well as we do. That's my comment,
Well,
Bert.
I just found out today, I've been away for about a month. I haven't been able to get emails, neither has Mr. Brennan. And I wasn't aware till the last few days, and I contacted the manager, I said, I'm not getting any emails. So he's looking into it now. And Mr. Brennan, you haven't gotten them?
No.
Rich, have you gotten emails? So you have to look at your phone too. You have to bring your phone up and we have to figure it out that way. Somebody has to come up, the ET guy.
So when was this agenda put out?
Well, I posted it last night on the entrances to the Borough Building. And as I said in my email, which you did not get, is I'm having problems getting access to the website. So I couldn't post it. The only time, I want to make this clear, the only time it has not gone up on the website, Ms. Fry. So.
I thought initially we were going to have it up by Friday.
Yeah, well,
you know?
it's a lot to operate on in this office.
I know, I'm just saying, I'm really not.
So I'm following the legal requirements at this point, and I'm trying to get out as much as possible.
So let me ask you, that's where,
One more at a time, go ahead, Mr. Brennan.
I try to post it on Facebook, on the mayor's page and the community page, as best as I can, I do have things outside. I get it posted up there, so people definitely see it on the Munhall community page.
I know you do that.
Mayor Pauls, I try to get it out there. I try to wait till the last second when everything is finalized. When the emails are set Friday, I can put it out there, but if something changes and they come here Tuesday, well, on Friday I saw this, but I didn't check it Monday night. So things may change, so I try to get it out there for the public ASAP.
Mr. Brennan.
well, I forget what I was gonna say now.
Sorry.
So, just a suggestion to you, Mr. President. One of the policies that I had done, and I thought worked pretty well, was as the month goes by, I would set an agenda already and have it set up and post it on the website. And then the secretary would put on there, this agenda will be modified. This is not the final version, but this is what we're presuming we're gonna talk about. Then people can look at it and say, okay, well, that's good. Maybe someone could call and say, hey, I'd like to talk about something like this. I think I question, and what, I understand what Dave said. He's doing the legal obligation, but I would like to ask our solicitor, is the legal obligation been met for all this agenda? When was it put out there?
24 hours in advance.
That's the legal requirement.
And when was it put out there?
24 hours in advance.
So it was put out yesterday at 7 o'clock?
Before 7 o'clock.
Okay, that's what I'm asking. It's a fair question.
And now that we have Taylor, we've been short in the office now for months. Now Taylor's here, maybe we'll be able to pick up a notch.
Yep, we
It'll
can
be a lot
probably do
easier
it
for
faster.
Dave. We've been going with John and Dave, since.
Oh, I understand.
Yeah, so that's been tough.
I understand.
I think we'll get better at that.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna get much better at that.
And I certainly think putting stuff on the Munhall community page is awesome. That's great. I mean, I don't have the time to sit and do that, because I'm working. I'm not behind a desk where I can type in and do stuff like that. I'm not running around.
Come on.
But I think it's something that the borough can do. Someone else in the borough could do that. And it should be like, well, I'm waiting, or where are we at in the meeting, Mr. Shields, President?
Public comments
On?
on agenda items.
Okay, so that's where I'd like to talk about something. Really was one of the questions I talked about was the agenda, and we're still trying to get our finance statements on our website as well. We need to get that done there because we've set that as an obligation we wanted to put out for public notice. We still need to do that. We're not doing that yet. But questions on, we had 300 people apply for the secretarial job?
409.
Okay, and how did we advertise that? Indeed.
Indeed, and I think Facebook as well.
Okay, and then we only had 12 people apply for the public works position?
That was done through the newspaper and the Facebook.
So the newspaper was the Munhall,
No, the
still the local Valley Mirror?
Yeah.
So that tells you how much people really read the Valamir today.
Right.
It's not there.
People don't read
I
newspapers.
didn't want the same subset of people on Indeed for a job like Public Works, because you're gonna get just a lot of people that aren't really qualified.
I understand, but we didn't put anything on the community page or anything like that, letting.
I had the
public
mayor
know.
put it
I put it
on
on my
his
page.
page.
It was on your page? Just bringing it out there, asking questions, because I know there's a lot of young people out there looking for jobs. And to only get 12 applicants, I thought that was a kind of not a lot. So, okay.
Dave, do you have access to the Munhall Borough official page?
No.
Who has access to that page?
You mean our Munhall website?
No, the borough.
I don't know,
Munhall,
if
it's
access.
called.
I don't know if anybody
There it
has
is.
access.
Mayor, who's up?
I don't know, no, not the Munhall community page, the Borough of Munhall say,
The
I
Borough
don't
of
know.
The police do,
I think, no, that's the,
There's the crime.
that's Crime Watch.
Crime Watch.
But the Borough of Munhall, there's a page, Borough of Munhall, that really hasn't been used in some time. I think Seth may have created, I know Seth created it.
We have a page.
I don't know who is the.
Yeah,
moderator.
probably Seth is the administrator.
Probably Seth is.
So I have to try to get that.
So we may need to either blow it up and start a new one, or.
Yeah, maybe we can
I
do
wouldn't
that.
say
maybe
so.
that's-
We're still trying to get messages off Savvy Citizens we can't get off. For some reason,
Well, it's just.
it's hard. Yeah, it's been
Get
rough.
access to San Citizens.
And that's been an issue too, with getting access to Savvy Citizens. That's been going on since I come back here last year.
Why are we having access to something that we pay for? Why are we having trouble?
Well, I do have access to it, but I don't have time to deal with it.
Maybe now with,
Well, now we have Taylor, I think we can probably move and have her help me manage some of these things.
now that Taylor's found out what we're gonna dump on her, she may quit tomorrow.
I think the prior admin assistant may have had some access to the Borough of Munhall page.
She might have.
Last thing I see posted on
it.
here was back in December 24th, where they used to post the, garbage pickups going to be delayed and so
The
forth.
previous admin would have.
I think it was the previous admin had some access to that. That's what it looks like to me.
But we can post the agendas on there, and we can just share it on our social media.
Sure, yeah, I
And
think we have to
everybody,
do that.
so Friday afternoon, when you pull them out, then you can post them on there, we can share them, and I love to screenshot 17 pages of agendas.
They should be done before that Friday for the following week. I think.
But you can still have changes between Friday and Wednesday.
Absolutely you can.
But we had all agreed by Friday that would be out. We all agreed on that. We were all okay with it.
We're trying to get there, it just
would
hasn't
be
happened
out-
yet.
It would be out by that Friday.
Just trying to
Even
get
though
there.
there may be changes, but we would have it out.
Right, and that was,
Yeah.
I think that makes sense.
Losing our employee in February, when did she leave? December. December, that kind of really set us back. You know, we have a lot of setbacks around here. Any more comments on agenda items? Mr. Barker?
Just one on that
Okay,
ordinance.
I can make you come up to the front, but I'm not.
No, please
I
not.
know, but you can, I asked you to sit up front, you would have to do that.
No, on the ordinance that they're gonna change for ancillary services when it comes to residential, whether it's apartments or condominiums or what, is there a restriction on the amount of units? Is there any restrictions to that? I'm sure there's restrictions because of the parking and
That would go back to code, wouldn't it?
I would think so.
Just go back to code.
Okay,
I think what the,
well, you just wanna be careful because then you get some Tom, Dick and Harry.
You have to have one off-street parking spot per unit.
Okay, so
So,
what happened to the Charlie Batch thing?
that was
Like,
yeah,
It's not on the agenda.
yeah.
okay.
All right.
He's allowed to ask though.
Well, I just worry about
No, it's not. We're not gonna go back to that way. we
interpret things.
It's not an agenda item, we're not gonna discuss it, this is a voting meeting. Okay. Any more comments? Donna, you're a frequent flyer, go ahead.
Thank you. So.
Donna Ondo, CDF.
Right, thank you. So my questions are regarding 12 and 13. I know last week on the workshop agenda, it was mentioned that we were going to hire 2 for DPW. And in a week's time, we received 12 resumes, and 2 were selected. So my questions are this. Background checks performed on these two candidates.
All hirings are based on passing a drug test and a background check.
Okay. Do either of the candidates have CDLs? I know in the ad it
No
says
candidate we
CDL.
interviewed yesterday had a CDL.
I'm sorry, what?
No candidate we interviewed had a CDL.
So then down the road, Munhall Borough is gonna pay for one or two who wish to.
If it gets to that point, but they're also very new, so they probably wouldn't be driving for a while anyways.
Okay. And my third question is, does anybody on council know these two candidates personally, or their families personally?
Do I know the candidate?
Do any people on council know these candidates that were selected that you're gonna vote to hire?
I found out today who the candidate was. I had no idea he would apply for these jobs, which I don't want to know who applies for these jobs. Goes to the manager, he does all the hiring.
But the council votes, Mr. Schultz.
Yes, they do.
Yes. So
We don't
why-
interview,
Why would you say that you don't wanna know who?
because I don't want to get involved. That's when you get politics involved in everything. The manager does the hiring, the public works director interviewed, they decide, they gave us the candidate.
Okay,
That's all I can tell you.
okay. But it looks like politics are involved in these two candidates.
Not here.
Or one,
I found out this afternoon.
Okay, okay. So my question is, I haven't received any answer, if anybody on council knows of personally these candidates or their families.
I don't know, personally for me, I don't know the candidate personally, but I know his father.
Okay, thank you,
But I
Mr. Schultz.
just found that out today, who the candidate was, and I realized who he was.
Gotcha.
Other than that, I did not have any never met the person.
I appreciate your answer.
That would be the same for me too.
Thank you, Mr.
And the
Farnsworth.
same for me. We all know the father because he works inside the police department. He
Okay,
sits out
so,
there sometimes.
so if you know the father who works inside the police department,
Right.
do you feel that you should vote?
I
Or you
had,
should abstain?
I had nothing to do with the interview process.
I understand
The
that.
manager and Bob made the decision. There was 12 candidates, they interviewed 12 people.
I understand
So
that.
they made the decision to hire who they wanted.
So the 7 people on council this evening determine whether or not these 2 candidates were hired.
We pay those 2 people to manage it and do a job. We have to trust what the manager picks and we have to trust what Bob picks.
Have any of you 7 seen the resumes?
Can I answer that as well? We don't
Please.
have one person speaking for council.
I'm not speaking for, I'm just saying.
I'd like to speak.
Okay, whoa.
I'd like to say that too.
But we pay the manager and we pay Bob to do the interviews and bring back 2 candidates.
I didn't disagree with that. But I do have something I'd like to say.
100%.
Okay, Mr. Brown, you have the floor.
Thank you. So, that's understood that we do that, and maybe that's a little skewed. Maybe that we should review who is taking these positions, interviewing these positions somewhat, and have a little input as well. I think it's not improper, and I don't think it would be political, but I think if there's, maybe it's improper on Bob's and Dave's portion, maybe they didn't realize what's going on. I'm sure they have to realize that this person is a son of an employee. So I understand where you're going with this. I don't think that it's, I think council should be informed before we come into the meeting and say this is who we're hiring.
Have any of you 7 council members received the resumes of these 2 candidates?
We don't do resumes. That's when it becomes ridiculous. The manager does the resumes.
Okay,
No, excuse me, I have the floor right now. The manager does the resumes, council has nothing to do with it. Years ago, everyone would get resumes, phone calls would start within days.
Of course.
My nephew, my brother, my
Of
sister.
course.
You'd have 7 or 8 people all pushing for you. Council stays out of that process.
I
I
understand.
used to have council would come in from different committees and be part of the interviews. We don't do that anymore. It's the manager, and this would be the public works director. If it was, the other way, we stay out of it. We find out who they recommend to us, You can vote no or yes, that's it. I think that's fair.
I agree, I'm not disagreeing. But my question is, none of you 7 received the resume of the 2 final candidates that you were going to vote to hire tonight.
I didn't.
I didn't, I don't want one.
I mean, I don't think I need to see his resume. Can you pick up a bag of garbage and throw it in the back of a truck for 8 hours a day? I don't think I need to see somebody's resume to be able to throw garbage or not. Because that's what you're gonna do, 32 hours a week and 8 hours on a Friday, you're doing something else for Public Works.
So you don't think that warrants your, you reading the resume? You don't?
No, I mean,
I think that.
resume. Can you throw garbage?
I think Munhall Borough, whoever they hire, they're representing the borough. And every moment they walk around the town, they walk down Main Street, they get off the garbage truck, they're representing Munhall. So I think that they should look at the resumes, honestly, I really do.
The 2,
And
I mean, the
anyone,
finalists, not
excuse me,
everyone.
anyone who's in a hiring position should be looking at resumes. And we are the hiring people, not Bob and not Dave. Council is the hiring body. Yes, we are.
No, we're not.
Then we are the hiring body.
We make the final decision,
We hire
they hire.
and we fire.
Right.
No, we hire and we
I'm
fire.
not gonna do it that way.
Well, that's your choice.
That's it. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, you asked a couple questions.
It's the way it's always.
There was 7 firemen in the borough of Munhall who applied, 1 from Homestead. People have called me and asked, I said, I have nothing to do with it. I want nothing to do with it. Because it's up to Dave and Bob. One of my firemen at my fire department was a candidate of the 12. His name is not on this list, so you can't sit there and say that, we're interfering in anything. We allowed them to do it. Now, Tom's back here, he's a fireman, his name's on this list. Do I know him? Yes, I know him. But he's a fireman. There's 7 or 8 firemen that were on that list from our communities. So I'm gonna know. And most of the people up here probably, if they got the list or saw who it was, they're gonna know somebody.
In this town, everybody knows someone else.
We all stayed out of it. That's it, it ain't very big.
Mrs. Ondo has the floor. I'm not gonna talk up from the back.
No.
It's not gonna happen tonight. I'll give you what happened to me years ago. There was a job opening for, I guess, an office position, and they were taking applications. My sister calls me and says, I let you know I applied for that position. I said, I'll tell you what, I'm out. I said, I can't, yeah. So that's the position you get into. People call you, I don't want to hear it. We hear the resumes. Believe me, this is the best way to do it.
I understand. Okay. Thank you for answering.
Sure.
Thank you.
Any more comments on agenda items? Okay. We're going to move on to items requiring council votes. Mr. Manager.
Okay, there are 2 votes for expenses for the month of March. There's a motion to pay bills, to exclude payroll for $310,638.
We have a motion.
Motion.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes.
Also approving payroll for $324,587.32 for the month of March.
Motion.
Motion is second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes.
There is a vote required for appointing a vice president of council, since we currently do not have one.
Roll call. Roll call vote.
Do we need a motion to suggest?
Well,
Nominate?
go ahead, yes.
I nominate Russ Firestone to be vice president of council.
You have a second on that?
I second.
Are we nominating now?
We're nominating now.
I nominate Rick Brennan.
Mr. Brennan? You have a second on that?
No, I don't care to be vice president.
Okay. So we have
Thank you, though.
Mr. Firestone, you accept the nomination?
I really don't believe in the appointed position that I should be the vice president of the council.
Mr. Firestone's only been here a week,
That makes it better.
so he doesn't set, we don't have anyone else. We can have a nomination, we can have a motion for any other member of council. We already had 2 turned down. It's vice president for the next 8 months. This isn't a difficult thing, guys, ladies. We can pull this one off, I know we can. We look really stupid sitting here doing it.
I think somebody should step up.
Yes, I can't nominate. Mr. Firestone, you can nominate.
I nominate Rainey Fry for vice president.
Russ, I thank you, but I have to decline. I am spread so thin right now. I don't know if I'm coming or going.
I nominate Tim Eads.
We need a second on that nomination.
No.
I second that.
Second nomination. All in favor? Roll call.
Mr. Shields,
Yes.
Ms. Fry,
Ready?
Well, we just declined 3.
It's a yes or no, Reed?
Yes.
Okay.
Mr. Yunkins,
Yes.
Mr. Eads,
Yes.
Mr. Firestone,
Yes.
Mr. Brendan,
Yes.
Mr. Brennan.
Yes.
Motion carries.
We have a vice president. Congratulations, Mr. Reed. Wow. That was a rough one. I think congratulations.
All right, as discussed last month, Mayor Falstad, in speaking with the Allegheny County Treasurer's Office, public information meetings and questions once a month in the borough buildings. We need to basically authorize that as a council.
Okay. Vote to allow Allegheny County Treasurer to have monthly public information meetings in the borough, Munhall Borough.
That's actually more than information. They can do anything that the treasurer can do. They can take your taxes, they can give you a dog license, they can give you a hunting or fishing license. So it's a little more, maybe no, and they're here only once a month for 4 hours.
They use your office.
They use my office.
Sure.
Yes, I don't use
It's the
it.
mayor's office. I mean, I'm not sure we need a motion for this, to be honest with you. Okay, we can do
I'll make a
it. Motion?
motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes.
Would you like to handle this, Mr.
You're good.
The ordinances?
Ordinance?
Okay, well, we've already allowed for public comment. Nonetheless, we'll call it this time. I'm gonna have a public hearing, I'll call it officially. There are 3 ordinances, numbers 5, 6, and 7. You all have the agenda. The first one is the R2 zoning district change, I've already talked about that. The second one, number 6, is simply to reestablish typical fees and costs for permits and licenses that the borough has in place and update those. And the third one is to reduce the members on the planning commission from 9 to 7. This is a public hearing. Does anybody have any comments or questions about any of these 3 ordinances?
I do. I questioned number 6. So this is a vote just to establish a new ordinance, but who is going to set the pricing on this, on these rates?
Council
and these-
sets all fees.
So how is that process going to work? Specifically, it's not going to be the borough manager setting this, it will be all accounted by a vote for programs, correct?
We already have fees that have been set in the past. Those are the same.
Right.
We're reestablishing those.
Okay,
Any changes have to be approved by council by public vote.
good, I wanted to make that on record, that's what we're doing. Thank you.
Welcome. Anything else? Anybody else? Okay, that concludes the public hearing. We can vote on the 3 ordinances. Thank you.
Can we do them all at once, or how are we going to do it?
No, we have to do them in a
Vote to adopt ordinance to amend the Munhall zoning ordinance to allow new permitted use in R2 zoning district for the development of existing structures.
We have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Second, motion is second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
Vote to adopt ordinance to reestablish the general schedule of fees, costs, and charges for permits, licenses, or services.
We have a motion?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
Vote to adopt an ordinance reducing the number of members of the Munhall Planning Commission from 9 to 7.
I motion.
Question,
Question on the motion.
when will this take effect and how will it be done?
Well, I don't even know if we have 9 on there now. It's just gonna be, no one's getting kicked off, so we
That's-
just won't
that's-
reappoint.
That's what I'm asking.
No one will be kicked off, no.
Okay.
Just gradual attrition.
Second.
All in favor? You a second on that?
Yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay.
All right, number 8, vote to adopt a letter of intent to the Governor's Center for Local Government Services to Peer Assistance Program for Emergency Services. This would basically be to send a letter of intent for a fire study for the borough.
Motion.
Motion and a second.
Second.
Any questions on the motion?
Is there any fee involved?
There's
in
no
this?
fee in sending a letter of intent. There will be a fee possibly in the actual study, but that will be a separate vote by council.
Okay.
So question on the term emergency services, what programs will they be looking at?
Primarily looking at fire, but they could probably also expand it to paramedical as well. So, yeah.
Okay.
Do you have a motion? Do we already have a motion to second it?
Yeah.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes.
Vote to reappoint Rob Falls to represent Munhall with the Steel Valley Accelerator.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
Vote to appoint Katie Whitney to represent Munhall with the Steel Valley Accelerator.
Motion.
Second.
Motion is second. All in favor? All
Aye.
opposed?
Congratulations, Katie. Are you Katie?
No.
No.
Oh, I thought you were Katie. I'm sorry. Is Katie here? Okay.
As I believe I mentioned last week, there is an opening for a zoning board alternate. We basically would like to advertise to make that public to an opening. So I'd like to vote to advertise nomination for a zoning board alternate.
We vote to advertise something. We're not going to vote on anything. Just, okay.
I motion.
Second.
Motion is second. All in favor?
Aye.
Recommendation? Put it on our website?
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, now the vote to hire Cody Caterino for the Department of Public Works Sanitation Crew.
Motion. Second.
Motion is second. All in favor? Roll call.
Mr. Shields.
Yes.
Ms. Fry.
No.
Mr. Junkins.
Yes.
Mr. Eads.
Yes.
Mr. Firestone.
Yes.
Mr. Bodadian.
Yes.
Mr. Brennan.
I have a problem with this, so I'm going to abstain. I'm going to abstain. I just got this
Stay
today,
for this.
and I don't think there's enough time for me to think about this, so I'm abstaining.
What's your reason for abstaining?
Not enough time.
Not enough time for me
Okay.
to really look at this and think about it, and I'm really not 100% behind the process as well. I think that the council should have the background checks and should have the resumes.
Every hire would be contingent upon a background check and drug screen.
I understand. I abstain.
Okay. So what's the count? Everybody keep it?
5 for, 1 against, 1 abstention.
Okay, motion passes.
Vote to hire Thomas Bidek for Department of Public Works Sanitation Crew.
Motion.
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Shields.
Yes.
Ms. Fry.
Yes.
Mr. Junkins.
Yes.
Mr. Eads.
Yes.
Mr. Firestone.
Yes.
Mr. Bodadian.
Yes.
Mr. Brennan.
I abstain. For the same reason.
Sure. Understand.
Thank you.
All right, carries.
Congratulations, Tom.
Motion passes.
All right, vote to adopt Munhall Care Storage Agreement with the new borough building.
Motion.
Motion is second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I have a bit of a question on this.
I do too.
Yes, go ahead, read yours first.
I don't understand how we could adopt this when we don't have any figures to know what we're adopting?
You have an answer for that?
Well, what would you like to charge?
Well, this was already, yeah, okay. I thought there was no rent. We did discuss this.
I presume that
I thought it was
too.
no rent.
I thought that's what we decided, no rent.
But as I pointed out over there, it's in this agreement that the tenant desires to rent space in the landlord building. That's the terminology, that's what they say. As I said over there, if it's $100, it's still $100. We're paying the utilities. This is my opinion, but I'm just saying, I don't understand how we could do this when we don't have figures.
With all due respect, I mean, this group does a lot for this community.
They're only stores.
They run market nights all summer long. They're doing a free store down on 9th Avenue, which they want some storage for up here because they're out of room and they're having things in their garages and everywhere else. And, you know, they put together blood drives, they put together an Easter egg hunt. This group does a lot for this community. I think we can do this for them.
As far as utilities, it's not gonna change anything utility-wise. It's a room where it's right now, it's sitting up there right now empty. So,
It's not even got drywall or nothing on it.
no.
It's just storage.
No, but if you read the thing, they have the power to change. They have to get approval from
There's
council.
none?
What'd you say, Randy?
I said, if you read the lease, they have the power to change. They have to get approval from council to make any changes.
Okay.
Greg,
Okay?
did you write this, please? Greg?
I wrote it.
Mr. Solicitor, do you have any problems with how we wrote the lease up?
No, I'm happy to answer questions. I drafted it
I mean,
to protect the borough. The only question was whether or not we were charging them rent. Everything else is pretty standard for a commercial lease, having their provisions to protect the borough. It's 1 year. After that, it's up to council to decide if they want to extend it.
And this was talked about in executive session, so the public knows. And it's not going to be a free store. It's specifically just for storage, and there's no, you know, customers coming in and people coming in to look at product and this and that. It's not a free store.
basically, we have a vacant room upstairs, we're gonna let them store material. It's very cut and dry to me.
I mean, if somebody comes up next year and wants to rent that space, you know, they may have to find somewhere else to go. It's a 1-year lease.
Do I have a motion? For,
You have a motion and a second.
motion and a second, all in favor? All opposed?
Me.
I may be opposed to, and I just thought about this just now, and I just want to bring it up to you all. I'm not opposed to the lease. Why don't you make the lease a month-to-month lease? In case someone 9 months from now says, hey, we want to get up here, and we want to take this, or 6 months from now, we want to use this space. We're sort of handcuffed into that.
Well,
I'm just making a point.
it's only 1 year, right?
1 year.
And these people have been held up for at least 2 years, right, Rob?
Oh, yeah, they've been coming
Yeah,
for quite some time.
Could it happen? Yes, if it does, we'll deal with it if it happens.
Okay.
Sure.
Just bringing it up
We
there.
can tell them, hey, guess what? We rented this spot, we're gonna find someone else, someplace else for it.
There you go.
Yeah, we could do that.
There you go.
Yeah, we could do that for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, I vote yes then.
Mr. Brennan changed his vote.
All right. Vote to approve the memorandum of understanding for Sergeant Colin Price, as was discussed in the executive session.
Motion. Second.
Roll call.
Did we not,
Mr.
did we not, Greg, are you not going to do something with that before we motion to accept it? Isn't that what you said?
No, I talked about if council wanted to make a change, we discussed it in executive session because at that point it was still a negotiation with the police union and Officer Price. But council, the consensus was to approve the requested change submitted by the police union. That's what I heard, so the MOU will pass as is, as was revised slightly by the union. Yeah.
15.
And this is for Officer,
Colin Price.
right, because it's not on here, so.
No,
I'd rather have the name, you're right.
Yeah, the name should,
It threw me off.
yeah, I mean,
That name should be on it.
I just want it on the public until we
No, we're
actually
not.
discuss it.
it should be.
We,
But I did mention his name.
okay.
We have a motion and a second. You want me to do a roll call vote?
Yes,
Mr. Shields?
no,
Mrs. Fry?
No.
Mr. Youngkins?
Yes.
Mr. Eads?
Yes.
Mr. Firestone?
Yes.
Mr. Bonadian?
Yes.
Mr. Brennan?
Yes.
motion passes. Go ahead.
All right, vote to authorize payment of $11,884.16 for Sergeant Tishon's unused vacation days and personnel days.
This is all part of the collective bargaining agreement. It's cut and dry. Just a formality here, we're voting on it.
Motion.
Second.
Question?
Question on the motion?
Have these numbers all been verified?
Yes.
Thank you.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Vote to advertise a request for proposal for financial management consultants for the STAMP program. As I mentioned earlier, this is the borough 2 months ago in February, after George Newsom came and presented, voted to enter into the STAMP program. This is a request for proposals so that we can get a consultant, several consultants to submit proposals, of which we then look at all of them and determine which one's the best for the borough in terms of price and what they would do. So this is just an RFP. We're basically soliciting people to offer us bids for this program. Are there any questions about that?
It's very vague. I don't understand it.
All right, so basically, the way it's structured, the STAMP program, to join the STAMP program, which would give us access to grant funding to handle things like fire studies, police studies, long-term financial planning, and strategic planning, all those things, you first need a consultant to come in and do a deep dive, extensive study of the borough, all of the demographics, the population, the needs of the community, the function of the government itself, and make recommendations on these are the things that you should do to address certain issues that are outstanding. Long-term planning and long-term financial planning is probably the biggest thing you need to look at. And the consultant, after selected by the borough, would then present a report in about 4 to 5 months, and that is all part of the process of joining the STAMP program. Does that make sense? Is that still unclear?
It does, it does, I understand, I'm with you. Who pays for the STAMP program?
The STAMP program is primarily paid for by DCED, but there is a portion covered by the borough.
Percentage-wise?
Percentage-wise.
What's-
I think it's 50 to 25%.
We pay.
We would pay, yes.
Okay.
But each thing would be on, if we really want this, we want to put the money in this, we'll do that. If we don't want this, we don't want to do that. It's
So we have no obligation?
no obligation
right now.
at all, at anything at all. We're just asking people to give us proposals and show us what you got. And then even if we accept a proposal, then we have to, there's a financial obligation at that point. We pay a portion, DCD pays most of it.
Okay,
And then, yeah, that makes sense.
understood.
Got it.
That
Any
was
other
the-
questions?
Any other questions on the motion? I'm still pretty confused anyway, but it's.
Okay. I can have George come back out here and explain again.
No, I'm good. We have a motion, a second,
Motion.
second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
As we discussed last week, we have gotten a bid, a CoStar's bid, we're about to do 3 bids, for a milling attachment for our, what is it again, Bob? Our skid steer, right? So we can start doing our own milling of roads and alleyways especially, and patching, for $32,653.
Motion.
Motion is second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
There, in your packets, towards the end of the packets, are a couple of handicap sign requests that have been vetted by the police department, right, chief?
Correct, yes.
And we basically need to approve these handicap sign requests for, the first one is for 2701 Main Street.
Motion.
Vote to approve handicap sign respect for everyone. Okay, we can't do them all at once. I got it. Motion, a second.
Yep.
All in favor?
Aye.
I know we talked about it last week about clearing it up at the co-op. There's a lot of them up there.
Yeah, there's 27 of them.
Right. Now, do we keep up all over town? I mean, people leave, people pass away.
They're supposed to reapply every year, but that's never been done that way.
Okay. We're gonna try to get back to that and let them know they're gonna have to reapply?
I have a binder in my office.
Vote on approving handicap sign request for 210 East Larkspur Street.
Motion.
Motion is second.
Second.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes.
This is also a last minute addition. I talked about it briefly last week at the workshop, but I don't have a final proposal, but I do have a number. So Munhall Borough is applying for PA small waters to do at the end of this month. This would be for televising our stormwater lines as well as repairing 4 to 5 catchment basins. So basically, the council needs to authorize applying for a grant for $500,000 for PA small waters. Once I have a final proposal, I'll pass it out to council, but it needs to be submitted before the end of this month.
Make a motion.
Second.
I'm all for applying for any kind of grants.
Who motion?
Tim? You got a second?
Me.
Mr. Bodine? All in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes. Any other comments from council on the good of the borough of Munhall?
I have a couple comments.
Sure.
So, I had some real interesting conversations this past week with other officials from other boroughs. And I was very surprised that their feeling was that they were wanting to leave Steel Valley School District. And I'm not mentioning any names, but this person also expressed why this municipality left the EMS program with Munhall. I think Munhall Borough should reach out to West Homestead and ask them to rethink their position on being a part of the EMS program that Munhall has. I think they do a pretty decent job. I think they're pretty good. I think we need to support them.
So I'm trying to get what you're getting at.
Well, I think my first question is, have we submitted any monies that we have allotted for them yet? We allotted, we have how much is in the budget for them?
75, yes.
I think we should, next month, we should give them 25 or 30%. We should give them some money for that.
Right,
They could use it, I'm sure.
Right.
Whatever council wants to approve, we can talk at the workshop and get that done. Also want to talk about the light on 22nd Street. I know we've talked about it. Has there been any progress made? Because I'm just bringing it up.
We had a chance to talk about it lately, Matt? We haven't had a chance. We need to, and I know, and I thought about that today, and we need to get it resolved. I understand the emergency of it.
Well, I mean, people are not happy with it, and
I put out a couple of bid requests for proposals from people, from traffic systems and a couple others, and I'm waiting to hear back from anyone, so I'll just follow up with everybody I reach out to see what kind of cost it would be.
all right.
So, but yeah, let me reevaluate that.
Okay, lastly, I still feel strongly, and I'm gonna bring it up again. I think we need to maintain our old borough building and do something with it before it falls into decay.
Sure.
Thank you.
Any public comments on the borough, good for the borough of Munhall from the public? Mr. Barker, amazing.
Okay. Getting back to him about the EMS.
This is any comments on the borough?
This is about.
Okay, good. You're thinking about it now?
Well, no, MAPS had the 3 communities together,
Yes, they did.
okay? For some reason, West Homestead left them.
West Homestead left, yes.
Left them. I think they need to open their books up. I'm sure they do, but
They do.
everybody needs to take a good look before we start. They get their building rent free. Do they still get the fuel?
No, we don't fuel them.
No, we don't fuel them.
Okay, you get that. Maybe you should solicit.
And we have access to their books. They show us the books.
No, I'm saying maybe you need to solicit other services.
I don't want to solicit
No,
other
we don't have that, we
services.
don't want to do it.
Okay.
No, we want to keep.
We want to keep our in-house.
I just heard there's
EMS.
a big turnaround, that's all.
That's hearsay.
No, I think it's, I waited for them because they didn't know where they were going one day.
Maybe you didn't have a street sign on your street.
That's what it was.
Maybe so.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. Good point, huh?
It's all my fault.
Okay, wait, Mr. Barker. I'll take a motion for adjournment.
Motion.
Motion second. Meeting adjourned.